Mom. I see you.
Can you believe they're letting us do this?
No, get out of your bubble, man. We're doing Guns and Gear from SHOT Show. It's Vegas.
It's Guns and Gear, presented by Palmetto State Armory from beautiful Las Vegas, and we got Doug Keithfeather.
That was really good.
Dude, right? Right? What's the American way to say it?
I was really just impressed that you did all that without any sort of cueing. Like, you knew exactly what you were supposed to say. There was no second take.
It's these guys. It's the guys behind the camera. A special thank you to Michael Davis and Benjamin Cannell for keeping us beautiful.
Yeah, hey, man, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you, man. Winchester Optics. Let's start out by doing this.
Do it.
What's the deal with Winchester Supreme?
I honestly don't know when the rebranding came through the door.
I'm glad you added more to that end of it, because you said, I don't know.
No, we can elaborate on it, which is to say that when I initially set up the social accounts, it was Winchester Optics, and then I was actually asked to revise it to Winchester Supreme Optics. And I actually really like the Supreme branding.
I do too.
It actually feels like we have a cool skateboard company, people who want it. But it is a mouthful for social media. Like
it is.
Winchester _Supreme _Optics. But the website is still winchesteroptics.com.
Okay.
So, honestly, when these first came out and I hadn't touched them yet, I was sitting here going, I have no idea what to expect. And the idea that we went through like some branding changes and other stuff, I was actually quite skeptical.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the products in and I was like, holy crap, these are actually really great.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that deceives people too is when I heard the price point, I was like, there's no way that these things are going to be, they're going to be any good.
Perception is one thing.
Yep.
Perception. And remember that when you're online and you're commenting on a product, perception is one thing. Using the product is your second thing and most important thing.
I think that it's been interesting seeing the reception on social media, which is people who haven't touched it yet because it's so new. I think we've really only had these products out and available for 3 months or so, and people just don't know what to think. The Winchester brand is familiar, and the Winchester brand is quality, but Winchester hasn't done optics. And we know that exploring a new vertical is problematic. And frankly, our team has a really robust background in optics, both using and developing. We have really great partners on the production side. And frankly, when I got my first scopes and I was like, okay, now I have to put these on rifles and I'm preparing myself to be disappointed. And, the construction was great. And I was like, this is cool, but I'm also ready for this to not be awesome. And now they keep multiplying on my different guns. And I'm like, actually, they are amazing. Almost every problem that I've had with a middle grade scope over the years is addressed in this as second focal plane for a majority of them. The reticle is really clean, clear. The red dot is small. We don't have any extraneous horseshoes or additional circles that complicate things. The glass is super clear. The coating is amazing and a non-issue. Right. The eye box is the most forgiving in this price range I've ever seen. And I work pretty consistently during the daytime hours, but I have a range set up behind my house, which is a blessing.
Well, yeah. You think?
But I shoot in twilight hours a lot. Like I'll be done. I'll be messing around. I'll work with a gun. I'll go out, and a lot of the time it's too dark for me to actually catch some of the steel in a heavily wooded area where I have it set up. And the first time I took out the 1-4, I was like I did a double star. I was like, this is really bright. I can actually see all the steel. I can differentiate between trees. So like the definition and the light gathering especially on the 30 millimeter models is wildly impressive.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing that we notice when we're shooting these things. And I'm going to set up the video because in the Guns and Gear from SHOT Show videos, what we do is we kind of chat about the product and we show you a video. And the video is of the product in use. And the idea I had around the Winchester Supreme Optics, when they came in the door, we got in, I believe it was a 1-8.
1-4.
1-4.
Yep, for sure.
And we got this one, a 4-12 by 44.
Yep.
I wanted to use this one, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to take it to New Mexico and shoot an elk with it.
Okay. I like how it's a lofty goal.
Yeah, and on a 7 backcountry, because this is a hunt we paid for. Like, we purchased this hunt out of our pockets, so we trusted this optic, which go ahead.
I like that you're a bet man. Are we going to the roulette tables later?
Oh yeah, no. I would like to. I usually don't win in Vegas, but on this end, the Winchester Supreme Optic ran perfectly.
I love it.
But before we do that, we always take out the scope and we do a range test. We want to make sure the turrets are running true. It holds 0, and we shot this on a 7 backcountry. It's the new hot caliber, and
a lot of recoil.
Oh my gosh, it's a lot of recoil. Why do we like recoil?
We don't.
Who likes recoil here? Anybody?
I like the effects on target of heavy recoil. You know? It's like,
right.
It's why a backcountry gun's good, because you're only going to shoot it once.
Yes. You're not going to shoot it forever. But you trust. We trusted this on the hunt. And it did not let us have.
All right.
So, but beforehand, we had it out the range. We took it on the hunt. But what was really cool about it was I took it to a long range, because I've got to verify out to distance. I've got to get that dope.
How far out?
800.
All right.
So it marked exactly true. So I get the gun dialed in. I take my dope, and I go, okay, this is what it says. This is what it's supposed to be.
I was super surprised not to have any tracking issues. I did tracking tests, and I was like, this thing is actually right on.
Yeah. Like you do a box test or anything like that, and it's got to be right. And especially if you're taking it out to distances, you can have a little wiggle room between like maybe 1 and 300. Once you start getting past that, and you start getting these calibers that are starting to dip lower that, a 308, a 270, anything like that.
You have to make some pretty dramatic elevation changes at that point. So
that's it.
Yep.
And so now you're really relying on positive interaction between those turrets and the turnover rate to make those hits.
Yep.
And that's what what really impressed with me with this.
Did you get an elk?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hello.
Did you have to carry it out, or did you bring a Sherpa since you paid for it?
I carried it out.
Dude, let down.
I carried it out. Like I'm a little like OCD about my like processing and getting an elk off the mountain. Like, even though I'm paying for it, man,
it's a
I'm
whole
hiking
experience.
That thing. Yeah,
I'm here for that. Good for you.
I'm able-bodied.
I always love when the guys are like, "Yeah, I killed a buffalo," and you like,
what'd you do with it?
You picture somebody dragging it out on a leash and like, "There's your buffalo." You know?
Yeah.
It's not a buffalo; it's a bison.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's one thing, and the clarity of the glass is another thing. Where is that being made? Like
Japan.
It's
Japanese glass. Actually really quality Japanese glass. Like I said, I think that the biggest hurdle here in terms of getting this product in front of customers is convincing them that it's not too good to be true.
Right.
I know that when I look at this comparatively to other scopes in the same price bracket, they don't compare. So literally, as someone who worked at the company and sitting here going, why did we build a product to compete in this price point that is so good? Like, it doesn't make sense. And then I realized, like, I'm looking at the wrong product line. Not only are we're 2 tiers above the usual price range,
right? And
like, I think that it's a family. This is a family friendly line.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, you want to get your kid hunting? We've got binos, we got spotting scopes, we've got rifle scopes that are all not going to break the bank to set your kid's gun up, or a second rifle. Right. I carry mine in my truck all the time. It's getting banged around. It's got some marks on it, but like, it's held 0. Yeah. Like, as far as a practical, good scope that isn't going to be disappointing. Yeah. Most of the things that you're going to buy in this price range, when you buy them, you're going to be like, hey, this is good enough for you until you get better. I feel like this is actually good enough to use for the rest of the life of the rifle without ever thinking about replacing it. And I think that from a consumer standpoint, no one's going to understand that until they get one. And then they're going to go, oh, this is really well constructed. Yeah. And it's a really quality piece.
Yep. All right. So on that, talking about quality pieces, let's see how this thing performed on the range.
All right.
All right, I'm out on the range with Winchester's new Supreme Optics. For this one, we decided to mount up the 3-18. There's a lot to like about it. For around $350, it's a lot of scope. At 18 power, it's clear. The duplex reticle is not really a duplex because it has that half MOA dot in the middle and it's illuminated. So that's nice for low light settings. Right now, I've got the sun cranked down on me. I did a quick 0. It moved very nicely. The clicks are good. There's a lot good going on. But what I did was I put 3 like half-inch dots down there, and I'm gonna shoot at the center. I'm gonna dial it up 2 inches, shoot at the top, and I'm gonna dial it down 4 inches, and we're gonna see if it moves true. I'm not gonna do a full scope test on this because we're shooting an experimental round here, one of the new 7mm. If it can handle this recoil, it's doing something. So let's see where we're at. I'm gonna hold center. Whew. So my 0's not exactly perfect, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up 2 inches now, and that's counterclockwise, so I'm gonna go 8 clicks. And we'll see where it goes relative to that bullet hole. Whew. Well, I knew I pulled that one off to the left just a little bit, but that's about 2 inches. So now I'm going to go down 16. Okay, so that should be down about 4 inches. I'm going to shoot again, aiming at the center. Yep, that's about 2 inches lower than the last. We're going to put it back to 0. We're going to come up 4 and see if we can replicate that. Coming up 8. Now I'm back up 2 inches. One more shot. We'll see where we're at. Huh, right next to the first one. So my 0 wasn't great, but the scope is tracking true. That's a lot to be said for a $350 optic, 30mm tube, illuminated. This is a good hunting scope. Someone that's looking to put something on a gun right away and not break the bank. Winchester Supreme, definitely worth taking a look at.
All right, that's it.
I'd love to say I was biting my nails, but I knew it was going to work.
Oh yeah, it was going to work. And what's funny is that is I think everybody, like when they look at that target, they're going to go, well, he didn't hit that square. Well, what you do is you go off of, like, that was his 0 when he did it hastily, and that barrel will warm up. Like on those guns, it takes them a little bit to settle in, and you saw it tracking true though, which is what you want to see. And those fine adjustments on the turrets make a huge difference.
It doesn't matter what kind of scope I have. It doesn't matter if it's a $3,000 Schmidt & Bender.
Yep.
Every time I take the gun out of the case, I have to adjust the 0 slightly. So when I see a gun grouping and shooting where he wants it, like where he knows it's going to shoot, even if it's not shooting the center of the target out, the adjustments can be made on the fly. It's why these turrets are so easy to adjust. I mean, it's made for ease of use. Like I said, I mean, I'm really excited about this product line across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen any aspect that hasn't really impressed me.
Right.
And like I said, I'm just trying to get this message across to people that, like, don't be fooled about the price tag. You're getting a much higher quality product.
You know why people say that? And here's why, and shame on us for doing it, because it always used to be, and I'm going to say used to be, well, if you buy a $400 rifle, you got to spend $1,200 on the optic.
Did people say that?
Yes. No, you spend double or you spend way over what you spend on the gun. That really has not been the case for a very long time.
Well, that was back when a 3-minute gun was
acceptable.
Good. Yeah,
that was acceptable. And there's a little bit of mental lingo and language that we've got to change, because this is not a $1,200 optic, but it's damn good.
I would go out on a limb and say that this is competitive with $700 and $800 optics in the exact same quality range, and no one's going to be upset about it. it's not a disposable product. This is
Right.
actually like a really well-built
Right.
and high-performance product,
Yeah.
which, like I said, no one's more surprised than me. I'm a huge snob.
Right.
My expectations were not high. I pulled some very expensive binos out of my chest rig and replaced them with Winchester ones because, like, they're at a price point where I'm not worried about breaking
Right.
or losing them, and they're almost just as good.
I know.
And,
It's changing that mentality. Okay. So, my buddy Steve walks up with Doug here.
oh, are we about to do the thing?
Oh, we're about to do the thing. And he goes,
Let's put this away.
hey, we got some breaking news. I want to show you something.
I want you guys to know it's not just breaking news here for this show. We didn't know this was going to come with us until like 4 days before SHOT Show.
You're kidding.
So we are super excited because we've been talking about it for a while, and then I was like, are they going to be here or are we doing this thing? We are.
What you're seeing now is probably, and they just handed this to me. I picked it up and I looked down the hall and I said, excuse me, how much was that? This is a Winchester Supreme thermal.
And a really nice one.
Holy crap. First, I want to start out by saying price.
So
Ish.
This is the
ish.
the daytime optic form one is $1,800 for a 384 unit.
Okay.
So we're kind of in an untouchable price range right now on this item. And what's funny is I've presented this to probably 300 people in the first day of SHOT Show, and everyone seems they see it and they ask how much the price is. I tell them, and they look like they're not going to be interested in it. And I'm like, just look through it.
Just look through it.
And I have them turn on the buttons are nice. And then they look through it and they turn around and find the closest friend. And they're like, yo, you need to look at this.
Please look at this.
Please look.
This is shocking.
It's amazing. And it's funny because when you tell guys, we have a 640 unit and we have two different 384 models. And you tell guys, well, we have a 640, and they want to see the 640. They're not interested in the 384. And I'm like, look at the 384 first.
Yeah.
And they look through it, and they're like, this is a 384?
The resolution, I'm going to tell you right now, the resolution on this is far exceeded what I thought was possible.
It's amazing.
For an $1,800 thermal unit. Now, an $1,800 like day-night scope, that's not bad. Now, then you started to jump up into your thermals, and you're looking at $2,400, like a big cost difference in that. And this
is a game changer.
And what is really frustrating for me that you guys have done with this is you gave people you gave people hope, and you gave them a bridge. Like, no longer are they like going, okay, I'm going to get a day-night scope, and I'm going to see how that works out. You just sent them directly to thermal.
And honestly, it's such a game changer. Like, I've used thermals in the Army for like the last 20 years of varying degrees, and most of them are just so big because they're program of record that we never really wanted to use the things that we got. And as we've downsized to kind of more commercial off-the-shelf solutions, we've migrated into a variety of different platforms. Right. And it's a very useful device for us, but like, we don't have great consumer level thermals even in the military.
Right.
And so coming to work here, I was like, thermal, it's a limited use. I understand what it's for. Getting my hands on thermals and using them on a regular basis made me realize that this is not a game changer. It's the game changer.
I'm giddy right now because I'm so excited.
Well, $6,000 gets you in most of the time, right? Like $5,500, $6,000 for something that you would
not
use.
For guys like me.
But this,
this
is the thing that a guy doesn't have to think twice about.
Like, I'm legit giddy about this one because I'm telling you, you have to look through it.
It's amazing.
Oh,
it really
gosh.
is.
I have to know when this is going to be available to folks.
So it's super funny.
I know
we were in talks about this just yesterday, and I was told, like, we've got them. They are sitting in the warehouse. They are. However, we're looking at we have a lot of good relationships with distributors right now that are going to want first access to it. So our releasing it on the website may take a few weeks to figure out exactly how we're going to portion out the actual stock item. But like, we have them. They're in our hands.
Hold a second. You're not telling me, well, it's going to be 9 months down the road. This is coming quicker than
Q1 2025. They will be on the shelf. So yeah, we're very excited. Yeah,
bro. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Most of the stuff at SHOT Show, we'll show you the prototype, and then we make you wait a year, and next year you see the actual
You're
product.
like, oh yeah, that came out. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. No, it's great. It really is. It's a very exciting. We're excited. I haven't talked to anybody that's seen it that hasn't been excited as well.
I'm telling you, you just skip the day-night stuff. Just jump into this because this is easy. It's an easy purchase right now.
I mean, when I was first messing with these out at my house, like I was trying to zero one, and I literally was looking through, and I was like, "There's a weird. I don't know what's going on in the background." Like I was like, "Is it swimming?" Because it's the first time I looked through it, and I was just shooting a few zeros on a steel, and there was this blurry movement behind me, and I focused it just a tad, and I realized there were 10 deer running like 100 yards back through my property, and I would never have seen them or known they were there, but it's the highlight to me that thermal's the game changer when you're like, oh, not only would I not known they were there, but like here I am shooting and I know what's in my back, in my backstop area, and if I was actually hunting,
it makes a big difference.
There they are.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. WinchesterOptics.com. I mean, come on, what's not to love? Like, you've got the Winchester Supreme Optics, killing elk out to 400 yards. I took it out the range out to 800 yards, and now just launched is there a specific name, or is it just Winchester Supreme Optics
Thermal? The actual model number is going to be like a 380. It's weird because it's like
a 384.
384 at TS or something.
Is that it? THSX. That's easy.
Thermal scope, whatever.
Times.
I don't know.
Something.
People think up these acronyms, and I'm always like,
it's Steve Livenoff doing it. Yeah. It's all him.
Steve's right here, and I'm cheating by talking to him.
That's okay. This is why we do this. Breaking news right here. You guys got to check them out. WinchesterOptics.com. Doug, man, I sure do appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank
That's
you for
awesome.
having me. This
appreciate
is great.
it. All right, guys, go check them out.
For more great gun content, subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. You can also watch the Gun Talk channels on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon. And of course, you can always find us at guntalk.com. Thanks for watching.